Race number 5 at Ascot. It is over the 1800 metres. It's Australia race number 12 for our Singapore viewers, and a couple of these gallopers in some pretty good form as well. Already Famous shows some nice signs at returning, finishing third behind Vengabus. Bayatorio and Cougar Knights have been racing well. Excellently is going for 3 in a row, and Ramjam returned to that winning form at last start at Mount Barker with a very impressive run over the 1850 metres. As I said, Excellently is looking for 3 in a row. Last start did a lot of work early, but was still able to fight on over the 1600 metres and prove too good. We'll carry just the 51 kilos here with Randy Tan. We'll take a look at that last start victory at Pinjarra now.
Look over the right shoulder. New Concept behind them. Nucky goes for the inside run with Falcon Crest. They went past the 250 and Excellently cruise past Jaggem Up. New Concept ready to fire. Falcon Crest is running about behind them. Excellently with 100 left to go. Sprints clear from New Concept. Ready to fire is getting home hard when it's coming to an end, but it's Excellently for the money. Excellently scored by a length. Ready to fire. New Concept.
Strong performance by Excellently. We know this horse has always had a little bit of class, and with just the 51 kilos from barrier 5, I think we'll be able to give another side as well. I've got concerns that it may just be out of its grade here in a 72 plus, but 51 kilos, he won't know what to do with itself, and will be in a nice forward position as well. The other gallopers to take a look at, as I mentioned, Already Famous was a very good run behind Vengabus, has won second up before. William Pike keeping the ride is always a good sign. Has had 4 attempts at the track and distance for 2/3. Bayatorio has been knocking on the door. This last 2 runs has finished 4th and 3rd behind Dark Alert. Back to the 1800 metres, a big positive, but hasn't won for 609 days and has never won at Ascot from 13 attempts as well, which is a few facts there, maybe just to keep an eye on. I'm also expecting number 4, Cougar Knights, to run a big race here. Drawn well in barrier 4 with the 54 kilos. Last up was only beaten a length by Danish Delight over the 1800 metres when carrying 58 kilos with Aaron Mitchell riding. Now the drop in weight is a big positive, was blocked throughout that run last start. And from barrier 4 should just be in a nice position to show that turn of foot late. Outside of those as well, I mentioned number 9, Ramjam, a winner last start at Mount Barker. Carries just the 52 kilos here with CLINT, JOHNSTON-PORT, and we also see from barrier 2 should be able to go forward and find a nice position. And the one to keep an eye on as well is number 10, Uncle George. This galloper, there's been big money for it the last 2 starts. It was backed in once the fixed odds went out last start, and you go back to a 72 plus over 1800 metres 3 starts ago, was 4th, only 2 lengths behind Thunderclap Newman. Those form lines will certainly hold up here from barrier 8 with Lucy Warwick riding. Let's take a look at the selections for race number 5. I'm going to tip number 2, Already Famous, from 4, Cougar Knights, 10, Uncle George, and 3, Bayatorio. Race number 6 at Ascot. It's Australia race number 14 for our Singapore viewers, and it's over the 1100 metres, and we're going to see a little bit of class in this race. There's a fair bit of speed with the likes of Benito, and then the classy finishing with horses like Volkoff and also Regal Commander. The replay that we are going to take a look at is Volkoff has won her past 3 in very impressive fashion. Just got their last start in front of Benito, and we'll take a look at the closing stages now.
The mare Volkoff, and then Outlaw Pete, King of the Palace, into the straight though. Benito led King Closet Marchand, searching for an inside run. Lenience letting down, and Volkoff called upon as well. It's Benito in front. Marchand got the inside run with Volkoff. Lenience running on the inside. Benito, here's Volkoff. Volkoff puts the big dive in. I think she might have arrived in the nick of time.
Another impressive run there by Volkoff, continuing her very good form at Ascot. 6 attempts at the track now for 5 victories and a second. Is just the Ascot specialist, and at the moment is just winning every race that she's in. She's going to be up against it though. She does meet Benito worse off in the weights for that nose defeat, so it'll be interested to see if she can turn that around. Barrier 9, she should be in a nice position as they turn for home and then be able to show that turn of foot. I really think Benito is the horse to beat at the moment. I saw $10 go up early on in the week, and this horse carrying the 57.5 from barrier 4 should be able to get to the front. Won't have as much pressure as it did last start, and as we said, was only beaten by a nose and does meet Volkoff better in the weights. I think it's a nice each way bet in the card. Outside of those, number 5, Miki Two Toes for Anne King, raced very well first up, was only beaten 1.8 lengths by Volkoff and was stuck throughout traffic throughout. Carries just the 54 kilos, drawn well in barrier 1, and has placed 3 times from 5 attempts when second up, so expecting another good run. I'm also thinking that Tiger Pete can put in a good performance here as well. I see that Sean McGrady has elected to ride King Closet at stablemate, but you take a look at the recent form lines, beaten 2 lengths by Vengabus 3 starts ago, and then finished second in the Mungrap Sprint as well. I think it can really run a good race. Track and distance record, 3 attempts, 3 victories. It certainly does enjoy the 1100 metres at Ascot. Taking a look at the selections now for race number 6, I'm going to go the each way horse with number 1, Benito, from number 9, Volkoff, 5, Miki Two Toes, and 12, Tiger Pete. Race number 7 at Ascot. It's Australia race number 16. It's over the 2100 metres, and this has to be the biggest raffle of the day. We know that the staying races are always pretty hard to find a winner, but this without doubt is the toughest race of the day, especially with a lot of the favourites drawn out wide. One of those horses that we liked in the betting is Confusing. A very impressive win last start over the 1800 metres. Found itself leading, which is an unfamiliar position, but has drawn barrier 18 for this start. Let's take a look at that victory first.
Starting to run on is Betsy. They're a further 2 lengths clear from Nightlike, Drum Nooram, O'Reilly's Crumpet. Confusing's booted away from them. Followed then by Pre-Selection, starting to run on okay. Inside the 150 and Confusing had stolen a break on them. It led clearly. Here comes O'Reilly's Crumpet giving chase, but all to no avail. Confusing's running to the line well. Confusing scored more than...
It was a good win there over the 1800 metres, winning by 3 lengths. But as I said, a couple of negatives here, especially that barrier draw out in barrier 18. Will get well and truly back in the field and is going to need to show that strong turn of foot over the 2100 metres. But this is its preferred distance. If it can race like it did over the 1800 metres, it certainly has its chance. I really like number 14 here, Paris Dream. Grant Williams, William Pike. We know those colours in the cerise and white are always hard to beat. The recent runs have been good as well. It was a winner 3 starts ago, and then it's finished behind Muscus at Dawn the last 2 starts. And conditions really didn't suit it running on last start either. Drawn in barrier 4, she should be in a perfect position and be very hard to beat. Outside of those, KEYSBROOK has been racing well, very consistent, but still only has the 1 win now from 25 starts. Comes in from superior form lines here, the listed Jungle Dawn and Starstruck, and also the Group 3 Latrice. Aaron Mitchell rides to just a 57 kilos, but it's just a non-winner. Will certainly be competitive though. Also expecting Magic Rocket to run a good race. Is second up, steps up from 1200 to 21, which is a small concern, but drawn nicely in barrier 2 as well. Sonnen, the blinkers go on, and Paul Harvey takes his ride for Stephen Miller. He's training really well at the moment. Had another winner at Ascot on Wednesday. Barrier 13, a small concern, but has had the 1 race at the track for a second. And Flying Force as well has to be a serious contender. The form lines behind Cougar Express and Quite Regal read strong, but drawn in barrier 16, which again, as I mentioned, a lot of these favourites did not have any luck with the barrier draw at all. Taking a look at the selections, one that did have a favourite with the barriers is number 14, Paris Dream. I'll be tipping that way. From number 1, KEYSBROOK, 13, Inducing Carrots, and number 11, Flying Force. Race number 8 at Ascot. It's Australia race number 18 for our Singapore viewers. It is over the 1400 metres, and we finished off with a little bit of style as well. Some horses in some really good form. Eurosun continued its good first up record with a second. Next Contestant's been racing well. Counter Cat is looking for 3 victories in a row, and Socially Unique as well. Another horse that should race well. The blinkers go on, and we can't forget the turn of foot that we saw from POUNAMU in a midweek race when it was able to come from absolutely nowhere to win by a nose, and that is the replay that we're going to take a look at now. Take a look at these closing stages and the way that this horse attacked the line.
Fabulistic led Rancho Man, but here comes Young John. He quickly gathered them up now, races to the lead, Young John, and put a length on Fabulistic. Then came at the head of the others, POUNAMU, who's starting to run on with the race. Looked to be pretty much all over, although he's coming at the rate of knots, POUNAMU. Young John's in front. POUNAMU, though, storming down the outside. POUNAMU. I think POUNAMU might have grabbed Young.
Was super impressive there, the way that this horse attacked the line. As we said, had really good form from over Reese, had raced against Winks as well, but just hadn't been able to put it all together. That first up run was very good, but what I will suggest is just to take note, because Alan Matthews said post-race that the biggest issue with this horse is that it loses conditions after runs and it struggles after that first up run. So really looking forward to seeing how it goes. Will it need further? We'll wait and see, but with that turn of foot, no matter where this horse finds itself, it is going to be very hard to beat. I mentioned number 9, Socially Unique, in the pre-race. The blinkers go on here. William Pike for Alana Williams, drawn perfectly in barrier 4 and goes back to the 1400 metres, which it won at 3 starts ago. That was at Pinjarra, but beat Bourbon Dynasty by a length, which has been racing well since. And then you look at the form lines with Barracky Beats and Danish Delight. It should certainly be one of the horses to try and run down in this race. Outside of those, Eurosun again continues to hurt punters. Hasn't won for 500 days now, but is very consistent. Drawn barrier 16 though, which isn't going to help it. 57.5 kilos with Aaron Mitchell riding. The Simon Miller stable is flying at the moment, but may just have to do too much work. And I think Counter Cat, I mentioned, going for 3 in a row here. A really good win at Mount Barker last start, 2 starts ago, sorry. Last start was a good win at Ascot after sitting in the perfect position. Goes up in weights, but in barrier 3 should get a really nice run again and attack the line strongly. Taking a look at selections for the final race of the day, I'm going to be tipping number 9, Socially Unique. From 11, POUNAMU. 3, Next Contestant, which I'm expecting to attack the line strongly with that antique Dream form. And number 15, Drive on Ice. Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of Box Seat, so it is time now to take a look at the best bets, and I'm going to be tipping race 1 number 5 Black Dynamite. I think the step up to the 1400 metres will see this galloper improve out of sight, and also race 3 number 2 Carry the Nation. I think that he can turn the tables on Vengabus and be too strong over the 1600 metres. Make sure you do follow us on Twitter for all of your social media information, Facebook and Instagram as well, and visit perthracing.com.au for all your event information. I'm Adam McGrath. Hopefully found you a couple of winners. We'll be back again next week with another edition of Box Seat.